Well, hey guys, welcome back, and boy, it has been a spicy evening with this whole situation going on with the joint session of Congress where Trump spoke, and it went just about the way you'd expect. Sure, there were some highlights, some lowlights, some very cringe moments, definitely a lot of things to take away from this, but I think at the end of the day, nothing really changed, nothing really got accomplished beyond what you would have expected. The Democrats hate him, the Republicans love him, people who are in the middle are kind of, on the fence as usual. But it's been interesting, and there's a lot of things to laugh at. So let's go over this New York Post article. It says, Trump's speech to Congress live updates, president's powerful address praised by left and right. I don't know how many on the left are actually praising this speech. President Trump laid out his common sense revolution, proclaiming America is back in a rousing speech before a joint session of Congress on Tuesday night, an unofficial State of the Union address. After a raucous start, the 47th president used his first major speech to the country since he was sworn into office just 6 weeks ago to celebrate the end of the divisive DEI policies, tout DOJ's cost-cutting measures, announce the capture of a top terrorist responsible for the disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal, which I thought that'd be Joe Biden, and recognize the families of Laken Riley, Jocelyn Nungare, and NYPD officer Jonathan Diller, who were all tragically murdered by illegal migrants. Then, of course, you can see here where it says former White House Press Secretary Dana Perino, also on Fox News, notes that Trump's line to Democrats that there's nothing I can say that is going to make you clap for me, and then they proved him right, she says. Perino adds that while no Democrats objected to the ejection of Representative Al Green from Texas from the House chamber and dozens more opted to boycott the speech altogether or exit the room quietly, the party still showed it has no common sense, they have no ideas, and they have no heart. Honestly, regardless of where you fall on the political spectrum, there's no way you can look at the current state of the Democratic Party and be like, yeah, these guys have got it all together. They know what they're doing. They're cohesive. They've got it figured out, right? And we're going to go through some of that right now. So right here, you can see this article from NBC News. It says Democratic Representative Al Green removed after disrupting Trump's speech. I'm just going to play a little snippet of it for you guys.
Small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning.
Apparently this man here, Al Green, thought it didn't apply to him.
Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session.
And you can imagine how this ended up going. This guy, Al Green, ended up getting escorted out due to the fact that he refused to sit down. He's just standing here being a complete blowhard, as you would expect at this point. This is just kind of the way these things go. So now what you have is Al Green, after being removed from the joint session of Congress, says, I'll accept the punishment. It's worth it to let people know that there's some of us who are going to stand up against the president's desire to cut Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. This is one of these things. This has been a large protest against Department of DOJ, trying to cut costs, trying to get rid of government bloat and waste and corruption. And yet all these all these departments, all of these government services that have all this bloat and all this siphoning, if you will, of taxpayer money into things that it doesn't belong in, for some weird reason, these people are very protective of it. They don't want it to be seen under a microscope where people can start realizing where the money is actually going and what it's being spent on. There's a lot of cringe stuff like this. You see Representative Melanie Stansbury is all of us tonight, holding this little sign, this is not normal, with, of course, her wives' tale face on whatever the hell the name of that show was. Handmaid's Tale, I guess you would. Then, of course, you have the most cringe moment I have ever seen, ever, by a politician, the queen of ratchet herself, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Well, the state of the disunion will begin shortly. I'm going to be in attendance. Do not watch. Now, I can't play this with the audio because apparently it's a Kendrick Lamar song or some shit like that. But you can just see this for yourself. And yeah, it is as awful as you'd imagine. I don't know how this woman got elected. I don't know why anybody voted for her other than mildly attractive and the color of her skin. But this is beyond embarrassing. Like this goes beyond anything I've ever seen any politician do that has been beyond cringe-inducing. I mean, this is just, I'm at a loss for words with this one. Then, of course, you see Senator Elizabeth Warren is asked what she'd like to say to Elon Musk and Doge.
You had to say one thing to Elon Musk and his 18-year-old Doge, cabal. What would you say?
I'd say follow the law and get the hell out of our agencies. Get the hell out of our government. Nobody elected you. You have no legal authority to be there and no legal authority to do the things you are doing. And the things that Elon Musk is doing hurt real people.
Again, she's completely full of shit. He has every legal right to be there because he was put in place by the people who were voted for. There's just, unfortunately, no two ways around it. You don't have to like everything Elon Musk has done or who he is as a person, or even some of the decisions that they make to recognize that he's not doing anything illegal. Tim Pool says the only time Democrats clap is for a foreign country, not for cutting waste, not for apprehending terrorists, not for protecting women, just Ukraine, it's a cult. And of course, you can see here people memeing on the fact that every one of these morons is holding a sign that says something else, right? But this one says, I'm retarded, I'm retarded, I'm retarded. I didn't get my retarded sign. JD Vance is like the dad the Democrats never had, because you could see, again, the expressions. This man has been memed on so much lately, but it is absolutely fantastic. I think he'd honestly appreciate the memes.
It lists 3.6 million people from...
I swear, the memes of JD Vance lately have been gold. And then you see this one. Here's where we get some of that virtue signaling. These people had no intention of staying in their seats. It's like going to see a bad movie that you know you're going to hate, and you've said online that you hate it. And then imagine that same person walks out half an hour into the movie and says, I knew this movie was going to suck, I'm walking out. It's like, well, we knew that any of you guys were going to sit in your seats or stay put. Like, this is not a shock, right? Maxwell Alejandro Frost. No idea who he is. He looks like he's all 12 years old. We just walked out of the State of the Union. It's not a State of the Union address. These people are all retarded. My shirt showed Trump an important message. No kings live here. Again, because of the joke about Trump being king, right? In the spirit of student protesters from the civil rights movement. Oh, God. I'm proud to have protested and walked out with many of my colleagues. This is not a normal time. It's also not the State of the Union, you moron. Oh, Ilhan Omar, the brother marrier. I will not sit through a circus of lies, so I walked out. That man is so deep in his own delusions, he thinks gaslighting the country counts as governance. Admit it, you wanted to see the memes. Married her brother. I mean, this is fantastic. Ayanna Pressley. Baldy. I walked out. I'm not even going to play her little audio because you already know what it's going to be, right? Congresswoman Sydney Kamlager. Duh, that's a hell of a name. Again, the funny part about all this is they all had these prepared statements ready to go. Like I said, none of these people had any intention on staying through the entire, the entire speech. They had no intention of staying there and sitting in their seats and being respectful. Every bit of this was about making a show, making a spectacle out of it. Savannah Hernandez says, just so we're all aware, this was Nancy Pelosi's reaction as Trump was discussing men not being allowed to play in women's sports. And just look at the angry expression on this woman's face. Either that's the reaction to being drunk, high, something, or she is just livid that they're saying men can't play with girls. Interesting. Then, of course, we had this moment, which should have been a win for everybody. And I get it. A lot of this is very much just political posturing, and it's supposed to, score brownie points with people to humanize a candidate or a politician. I understand that, guys. This is all about politics, right? But it's still a moment that you should just at least play along for the sake of the child who's there in front of the entire world. And yet people couldn't even do it. So you see this from Nick's order. It says, heartwarming. Trump's Secret Service Director Sean Curran just made young DJ Daniel, a Texas boy with cancer, who dreams of being a police officer, a Secret Service agent. What an absolutely beautiful moment. It's this clip right here.
I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
And again, right there, what should just be a very heartfelt moment, even if you realize that, again, this is being done for politics, you can still accept that this boy here had a very special moment, and who knows how long he'll live. Let's be honest. He's going through, I believe, brain cancer or something. It's not pretty, right? The situation for him is very dire. So just to have this moment is pretty amazing, right? The White House tweeted out, DJ Daniel joined President Trump at the joint session, a 13-year-old battling cancer who's been sworn in as an honorary officer over 900 times. President Trump made his dream come true, swearing him in as a Secret Service agent. And of course, people responding saying Democrats couldn't stand for a child who survived brain cancer. Nobody standing. Nobody. Couldn't even get on their feet, couldn't applaud, couldn't even pretend to feel anything for this little child. Then, of course, you see from Norm Cruz, it says Debbie Wasserman Schultz and her fat friend are nonplussed about a brave kid with cancer. Just check this out. I mean, at least this gal over here was clapping until she got something in her eye had to itch. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, sitting here with a contemptible scowl on her face, not even attempting to clap or pretend to be happy for this child. But of course, Nick Sorter points out, I want to give a shout out to Democrat Representative Laura Gillian. She was the sole Democrat who stood up and clapped as 13-year-old cancer patient DJ Daniel was being honored by President Trump and Director Curran. Thank you. So at least somebody seems to have some bit of a soul, right? But it gets worse. Here's where the story takes a very disgusting dark turn. An MSNBC host just said she hopes 13-year-old cancer patient DJ Daniel doesn't end his own life from having to deal with Trump supporters. Just watch this clip for yourself.
But I think this was a lesson in finding one thing that you let yourself feel. And I let myself feel joy about DJ. And I hope he's alive for another, 95 years, right? And I hope he lives and the life he wants to live. He wants to be a cop. He knows what he wants to do. And maybe when you have childhood cancer, that crystallizes for you. And I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer. But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide. And I hope he isn't one who has to testify against the people who carried out acts of seditious conspiracy and then live to see Donald Trump pardon those people.
I mean, what a sick, twisted thing to say that's not even based in reality, due to the fact that this is something, again, that's been heavily contested regarding January 6th, about who actually had their life ended because of the riots, who actually had their situation where they already had medical issues. Again, saying that all 6 of them ended their own lives. I'm sorry, I've got a little bit of a tinfoil hat about that entire situation. But what a sick, twisted thing. What a thing to turn this into from just a... She should have just left it alone. Left it a feel-good moment. Been like, here's one good thing, one humanizing moment for Trump that we can all kind of rally around. Oh no, she had to go back to J6, and I hope this child doesn't end his own life because of Trump supporters. I mean, genuinely disturbing, sick, twisted, evil people. I'm gonna leave it right there, guys. Let me know what you think about all this down in the comments down below, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Alright, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.